It's hard to believe we planted that tree.
In the spring of 1970, John and Kate Grossman planted a few rows of red pine in honor of their newborn son, Christopher.
I borrowed my dad's farm tractor and we furrowed it, and did the planting that way.
2 years later, they planted more red pine for their second son, Andrew.
We thought it was neat to just start this new life parallel to these new lives otherwise starting.
John was a forester, and the trees contained a metaphor for life.
The trees that'll succeed on this piece of property will adapt to the place that they're plugged in to grow, and there are parallels to kids and young adults growing and finding their way in the world.
The trees that were barely visible in the first few pictures eventually grew taller than the boys.
You probably measure your kid's height on a wall or
stud wall in the basement somewhere. Yeah.
Same concept, only it's the trees and their growth.
Over time, the boys grew up and started families of their own.
And then the grandchildren started coming, so we began planting for them.
Each new grandchild has their own species.
Classically, we plant about 50, so it is a community.
John says the factors that determine whether a tree or a child thrives in their environment are the same.
You create an environment for them, hopefully, to come to be independent and then move off into the world.
Anna is 14, and her white spruce are well established.
They're often on their own.
Here's Sophia's trees.
Sophia's larch are much younger and still need a lot of nurturing.
See, the ones that are under shade aren't as tall, okay? And some of the lesson in that is you will grow differently than the people you grow with.
Parker's red oaks need cages to protect them from wild animals.
When we planted this tree, you were about this high and it was about this high.
Zoe's sugar maples are next to her big sister Anna's trees. And when Lily arrived this spring, they had literally come full circle.
It was in the shade of Dad's trees, and his trees were in need of thinning.
So now there are a few stumps among Christopher's trees, allowing light to shine on his daughter Lily's white oaks.
This one was harder for me because, you planted it, so now to have to cut it, which I know that's the healthy evolution of the forest, that you go, really?
That is part of the deal and lesson, too. I mean, we're all here for a moment in time.
Finite period of time.
The reminders of life and death are present in the trees. Not far from the other grandkids' trees are some red oaks that are growing tall all by themselves.
We had a granddaughter that was born preemie and passed shortly after birth.
So Emma would have been about 12 by now. It's a reminder that she's thought of. There's a little bit of wild rose and a few forget-me-nots spudded in here too.
Emma isn't the only family member whose presence lingers over these acres.
That's old Mike.
John's grandfather, Mike Grossman, was Polish and immigrated around the turn of the century. He made his way to northern Wisconsin and bought land outside Sugar Camp.
So it was very much a cutover scene that they cleared then and over time made a dairy farm in the early 1900s.
In a century, it went from forest to farm, and now back to forest.
And these trees are here for a moment in time. They live longer than we do, and you have the sense that they live eternally, but in fact, they're transitory just like we are.
The one constant has been the Grossman family, best represented by this Polish phrase on the outside of the cabin.
Grossman, od roku 1904 I jeszcze jest nasze, which says Grossman since 1904 and still ours.
John and Kate hope their grandkids will eventually feel the same connection to this land as they do.
So there's a sense of pride and belonging, and that's important.
Yeah.
It's a retreat as much as anything. We work hard there, but it's a relaxing experience because we're investing in something bigger than us.
The land is not something that belongs to you. You belong to it, okay? And to the extent that that thought can be captured in what we hand off to these kids and their trees, I think that's a neat thing.
This is video, you know.